Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm stoked to be here today. It's gonna be really fun. This background feels really beautiful too. So light filled, it's amazing. Today I've just come out of a beautiful meditation practice and kind of like, I don't even know if you could call it meditation. I've been thinking a lot about how a beautiful solution for addiction and addictive behaviors is accessing altered states of consciousness in natural ways and spiritual ways. I feel like that was one of the biggest things that I experienced in my own healing and recovery and I guess journey of sobriety, even though I don't really call it that, is being able to connect with God. Like that was the solution for me. It was like the thing that changed everything. And I mean, yeah, I think, I'm hearing about people getting high and, doing lots of substances, and I think I get it. Like I totally get it, because life is really challenging, and it's so gratifying to have, your consciousness shaken up for a bit, especially when you're someone that kind of has a really overactive mind or just an active mind. Even today, I've been reading this really cool book at the moment called Improv Wisdom. I don't actually know who it's by. I do, but I've forgotten in this very moment. But it's all about how, like, don't prepare, just show up in the moment. And it's fantastic. Like, I'm loving it. I feel like I'm embodying it as a practice. And it's helping me to shake out some kind of stultifying, like, freeze responses that I've been having in my business. And I want to talk about this in terms of like the big stuff and the little stuff, because the freeze response can happen, I think, in the moment, like a brain frozen, don't know what to say, don't know what to do, oh my God. But it can also happen in like a bigger, broader sense of like, I don't know where I'm going in my life, like directionless, feeling a sense of like, I don't know what to do next. Like, how do I take this job? Where do I, like, I don't want to make decisions, like that kind of a thing. And I think, I noticed it yesterday. It came up, I had a bit of an experience on the bus coming home, and I went into like a proper freeze response, and I was there for like a couple of hours. All I could do, I just watched 3 episodes of Glee, because I just couldn't, any kind of like time I tried to move out of it and thaw out, it was just like, this part of my brain was too scared. And I've got some interesting kind of modalities and tools that help me move through this sort of stuff now. And even still, like with all the tools, that I have, and I could probably do with going back through some of the tools that I actually do have. But even with all of that, I still was like going to the pantry and eating. I still, I've watched 3 hours of Glee, which is like, I don't usually watch that much TV anymore. I know that it's not as healthy as I possibly could be. But yeah, so just like, it's finding ways to like thaw out. And, the research that I'm doing and what I've learned is like, a lot of it is this part of the brain doesn't actually respond to words, it responds to visuals. And so imagining like a block of ice like melting, imagining this exercise that I did with Avani Dilger's program, Natural Highs. It's on their website if you want to check it out. But she just recommends like imagining the stuck energy and in your body, like what color is it, visualizing it, seeing it, and then imagining it just like the blocks just falling away so that it can flow again. So I just imagine like a door opening, or like a gate or a grate like coming down. Those big dam walls, like a giant dam, just feeling that, and then just like feeling it like slowly come down, so the water's just like psh, and your energy and your life force can come back into you. Because I think how a lot of people live is like, on this sustained suppression of like, I feel tired because my energy is blocked, so I go and drink coffee, but then that suppresses the tiredness. So it's like just suppressing the symptoms for another day. And Avani was talking about this, the neuroscience behind this, and she was talking about how when, this energy that's actually supposed to help us overcome a challenge, this fight or flight adrenaline response, or even just this, experience in our body of like heightened heart rate or just stress, can actually be really positive. Because when we need to we can use that to be able to help us overcome the challenge that we're facing. And we're going through some interesting challenges in my life at the moment, and it's helping. It's really helping, and being able to, I'm navigating them with a lot more grace. Improv Wisdom is also helping, and improv is great because I think it helps you. It takes all the pressure off. I was reading this I think it's chapter 3 this morning, or chapter 2, and it was talking about how like, don't stress about being the best. There's so much and I'm noticing this in my own consciousness, there's so much like pressure, especially when you are someone who is motivated by mastery and excellence. And I came up with a really clear, or like, I came up with is a good term in the sense that like, I didn't make it up, but I came up with it in the sense that I was diving for a solution or an answer, or kind of like a part of my psyche was very much like digging for this, and I came up with it, as in like from the depths, surfaced with this knowledge. And it's so fascinating how like I watch my mind like solve its own problems, and how like my psyche just comes up with stuff, you know, like there's so much in you that is working for you at all times. And I think this is what people mean, and how we can kind of contextualize it is like, you know, when people say like God is always working for you, your psyche, you are always working for you in the background. There's so much going on in like your mind and your inner world that you just can't, you know, holding consciousness. And so when you can, I mean, you don't even have to like tap into it. It's just having that awareness of like, okay, cool. So even when you dream and when you sleep, I've noticed like, yeah, sleep is just such a powerful regeneration tool to be able to like go into that state. And you know, your psyche is just, it's self-cleaning and it's self-healing. I heard that in a video the other day too. Fantastic video. Dr. someone, TED Talk on, it's called Psychosis or Spiritual Awakening. It's a TED Talk. Google it. It's fantastic. And it awakened so much in me. It was so enlivening. It was really beautiful. But this whole concept of like improv as being like, we don't have to, just not putting the pressure on ourselves to be excellent, or be perfect, because that creates anxiety that actually like stultifies or like our performance, and it's not great. And I experienced this firsthand. So like I was saying, I'm someone who's very driven by excellence and mastery, and I know I'm here to like walk a path that's very like good, like, you know, high achievement, and you know, I create beautiful things, and I want it to be like, you know, I want to do well and do justice to this like impeccable, fantastic, like brilliant, life-altering universe inside of me. And that can sometimes, I think, get in the way of actually like expressing anything and getting things out into the world, and can be more harmful than helpful. And I came up with this very clear distinction today, and it is as I was stepping into the shower, and I was like, do not let perfectionism trick you into believing that it's the same as excellence. And it's just like, it will, you know, I think I've experienced this so much in the last couple of weeks. I've been working on, you know, I'm finished my book, and I've been editing, and just these processes of like, I'll go in, and this is a book I've been working on for 9 years. Like, this is not like a thing that I just kind of whipped up. This is 9 years of hard ass labor. And I was looking at it again this morning, and after I read this chapter, my intuition guided me to this book, and then it's just changing completely the way that I'm writing and I'm editing, because I'd been going back through the book, and you know, I finished this book like 3 years ago, but because of some resistance and all the different things, I think it's all a process of learning how to do this, I guess. And I'm so much smarter now, and I'm so much wiser for when I write the next one. It's going to be so much quicker. It already will, like it is, and it will be so much faster. But I noticed that the sense of perfectionism, or this like tendency towards perfectionism, had me just like making it so much harder than it needed to be. And I was like, especially with poetry, you know, this book is a book of poetry, and it's like every word matters, and like every word is like, it's very like, every single word in this book, I just had this thing that it had to be like carefully selected and just like perfect. And you know, if it's not like, it's just because you know, I've had so many incredible experiences while I was writing this book, and I just, it's just been so wonderful, and I wanted to do that justice, you know. But I think it does, and it will. And it's interesting because as soon as I read this chapter of like, just let it be average, just let it be average. Like, even what is like something that's average to you, even just this one shift in my consciousness, this is another way to access altered states of consciousness, BT dubs. You don't have to get high, you just like learn stuff. And this is when your consciousness is altered, because that's what learning is. Anyway, it just takes more effort. That's why people don't want to do it. No, I totally get it. I think, no, I do. But seriously, like, put the work in, put the discipline in. It's so much more rewarding to have altered states of consciousness in the long term. I'm still banking on this. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to like drink coffee and do drugs. No, actually, I don't ever want to do drugs, but part of me is like, I just want to, you know, drink coffee and have that kind of, you know, like access some altered states of consciousness in that like really quick and easy way. But anyway, we're not doing that. We're going for the long and the integral road. And anyway, so much to say on that. We'll go into that in another video. But I just looked at this book. I just like attacked it from a completely different angle. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm going to finish this tomorrow. Like, I was fucking around with it, chapters that were already done, I was like exploding them again. I would like go back in and then expand them out and then do this and change things around. I was like, no, like stop. I think perfectionism is just, anyway, I'm realizing that it's just so much, it's just brought into my consciousness now, so I can shift my behavior, thank God. But yeah, I just looked at it in a completely different way, and I was like, oh, I'm finishing this tomorrow. Like, I'm finishing it. This is after working on it for so long and thinking that I wouldn't be done until like, for months. And being like, how am I going to finish this? How is this ever going to end? It's like, struggle is so real. Was so real. But yeah, now I'm like actually excited and I feel good about it, and my heart was actually like responding when I was writing rather than feeling like I was kind of just going at it from my head. I think it's just like, the mind. I think perfectionism is maybe of the mind, and I don't know, I'm interested in learning more about it and kind of exploring more of how it relates to creativity, because again, there is this like, we want to be excellent, and I choose to walk a path of mastery and doing things really well. But just this whole chapter was like, just be average, like don't show up and try and be anything special, like just well, close enough is good enough. Like it's such a different mindset to the one that a lot of us grew up with, especially in the personal development world, because it's like greatness is everything, like dare to be great. But I feel like there's something to be said, like this video is great, like it's fantastic, I can already feel that, but it's like because I'm not trying to make it great. I feel like I was thinking about a photo shoot that I did with like a person a couple of months ago, and I was just trying so hard. I wanted to impress him, and I wanted to be like, I just said to him, I was like, this is my inner cosmic tennis match with the universe, which is a beautiful sentiment. I was like, this is my serve, God, like I'm putting it all out. Let's just, you'll bring it back to me in equal and opposite measure. And I know maybe I'll reconcile that with, this new kind of way of doing things in a minute. But I just, this feels so much better. I feel like when I have started trying too hard in the past, it's like, I just get like, there's something that happens that feels like, I'm like, I just know it can feel better than this. Like, I know that life can feel better than this. And I think once you've tasted the fruits of like how good life can be and feel, then it's really like, you just can't kid yourself or trick yourself into believing that, it can't be like that. So anything that makes me kind of try too hard or like go, and I don't mean like working hard, like I'm all for hard work, but I mean trying hard in the sense of straining myself and like, I think what I was saying before is, there's something about, not expecting so much of yourself that allows your natural greatness to come through. And it just, it doesn't have to be like big and exuberant and outlandish. And what is that Alice Miller quote? The grandiose person is never free because his or her, their ego and their sense of validation is built on feats of strength and wit and intelligence that can fail at any moment. And I mean, go and find the quote, it's more exacting than that, but it's like, if you that's kind of a whole nother thing, but it's also connected. It's like, if you're grandiose, if you're trying to make yourself bigger than you actually are, if you're trying to be like full on and out there and wow. I actually wrote about this a while ago, and I will publish this blog post eventually, but it's called in the defense of wholeness, and knowing the difference between going all in and over exaggerating your soul. And it's like, over exaggerating, I think, comes from this place of like, I want it to be excellent and give my all and all this sort of stuff. But dude, it's so much more fun when you just relax and you're okay with being average. Like, it's hilarious. It's such a paradox because because I think, you do have to go through that thing of like, not being afraid of your own power and not being afraid of standing out and being someone who rises above the fray, or is like steps outside of the what's it called, like the group, like the tall poppy. You got to be comfortable being the tall poppy. But I think there's something to be said for like, it's not even maybe it's just like if you're doing it in relation to yourself. Like, I think if you look at yourself in comparison to other people, then it's different. Whereas when you kind of come at it from this place of like average, in the sense that like, to my own, I'm thinking about it in this way now, like, rather than looking around at other people and being like, I have to be excellent and compared. It's like, no, it's looking at yourself and feeling into your own like internal system, yourself, like your integrity is like your wholeness, and then feeling if you're like you can feel when you're trying to be bigger than you are, like this, like straining, and then I think you can also feel when you're like shrinking. But if you can just, you know, come at it from this place of like fullness and here-ness and just this middle ground of wholeness, like here I am, like this is enough, like this is all I need to do, this is enough. And it's just, yeah, exactly that. I'm noticing even right now there's way less mental chatter than other videos that I filmed. There's just this, like, I just trust myself and I just trust whatever's going to come out. So it's great. And yeah, I've been moving through my day this morning. It's been so beautiful. I was like dancing this morning and doing my workout, and it was like I was watching myself rather than like thinking about what I was doing. So I was dancing, and dancing is great for this because your body just has this natural like, ooh. And especially, you know, I've been dancing since I was like 2 years old. So I have this natural kind of like rhythm in my body. I was just letting my body, I was watching myself rather than being like, I was doing a workout, and rather than like, usually I kind of think about, all right, what's coming next? I think about, you know, where am I going with this? What's happening? Like, what move am I going to do next? And this morning I was like, no, just stay. If you're thinking about what's coming next, then you're not fully in this moment. And it's kind of like, it's hard. Like, it's not, you know, I didn't find it particularly like easy until you access those like flow states, and then you're like, whoa, I'm doing it. Because there's a part of you that's like, I think it's about, you know, quietening. No, it's about accessing a part of you that can do this, and then making it your focus, and then allowing it to kind of lead your experience rather than the part of you that wants to like plan and do all that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, planning's fine. Planning's great. But yeah, it was just, I had so much fun because I was just so in the moment with it. And all of a sudden my body would start doing something different. I was like, well, here we go. I was kind of just like watching it. I was like, you know what you're doing. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. And I always had, like, I had these like cool new steps, and I was like, could have taken a whole class like that. Like, it would have been, you know, fantastic. It was so much fun. And even like filming this video, I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel as, the stakes don't feel as high. It doesn't feel like as precarious. Because I'm sitting down and there's not like these movements, and my body's not as involved, I guess, in this experience of speaking. But I guess there is still like I'm listening, and I think it's also just like, I feel like I've had so much backlog of information that I need to share. And I've been, you know, I had a dream a couple of nights ago, maybe a week ago now, where I was hemorrhaging like blood everywhere. And I woke up the next morning and had a had a dream circle session with one of my friends, Mel. Go look her up, Mel Johnson. She's fantastic. She's a dream analyst, and we do like a monthly circle. Message me for the details. It's free and it's great. It's really cool. We just like help interpret each other's dreams and ask questions about them, and it's like fascinating because you're like, wow, our dreams are full. Oh my God, they're full of so much information. It's really cool. But yeah, that was one of the things that I uncovered from that, was that like, I want to teach. Like, I need to be teaching because it's so much a part of who I am and my soul's mission. And if I'm not doing it, it's just like pain and losing a lot of blood and feeling like I'm not getting anything back. And it's funny, like, teaching is very enriching to me. Like, I'm giving, but I'm very much receiving at the same time. So it's very nourishing. I find it very enriching. I'm doing a lot more of it this year. Cool. All right. I think that's it. If there's anything else, I think that's it. Yeah. I've just had so much fun writing this book. As I come to a close with it, I just want to like share a little bit about it. And I will do a whole video, and I've written a blog post about it. Go check out my blog and jayschafer.com. But yeah, just coming to the end of this process, and it's just like, holy fuck, that's the name of the book, fittingly. But it's just so, I can believe it's coming to an end, and I also can't. Part of me is like, what am I going to work on next? But I also know, a part of me is like, what am I going to do? Like, I've been getting up at 4:30, like 4:15 to start writing at 4:30 for 2 hours pretty much every single morning. I was doing this for months before Christmas, or like 30 days before Christmas, and now I've started doing it again. It's just something about, again, that altered state of consciousness, accessing that like different ways, because I live a life at the moment, I have been for a while now, of like, it's quite, it was very like exactly the same every day, and kind of tracing the same like physical patterns, and can be a little bit like fever dreamish, like not great for creativity and just not great for you and your soul to do the same thing all the time, every time, like every day. So having having a creative practice that allows you to just like, yeah, being able to shake it up is really important. Sorry, I just totally forgot what I was saying then. And it's so funny because like she talks about this in Improv Wisdom, the author, and she's like, if it happens, just stay in the present. Like, how much more present can you be with what's around you? Like, look at your notes, like take a deep breath, look at the audience, smile at them, hi. Like the panic, I used to be really afraid of this, but the panic isn't there for me anymore, especially because I know that even if I just start talking again, then eventually the thread comes back to me and it weaves its way around, and everything that is going to be said is going to be said in this lifetime. Like everything that I'm going to do, I'm going to do. Everything that I have here to say, I'm going to say. Everything I'm here to feel, I'm going to feel. Like it's all is happening and it's all going to happen. It's all already done. And so there's no need to kind of fret or stress about like, oh no, like I missed it or it's not coming back to me or anything like that. But yeah, finishing the book. Yeah, it feels like, Jesus, it's been such an incredible process. Like it was my initiation into creativity, and yeah, it was like so many things. Like this book has been so many things, and yeah, like I said, I will write more about it and write about writing. But I have a new book, and that's the next project that I'm going to be working on along with my business and Madhouse, which is my social enterprise. So there's always a lot to like focus on creatively, and there's always a lot to say and do and express. But I think now I have this kind of, I'm armed with this new knowledge and consciousness around perfectionism and just like letting it be what it is and knowing that it's going to be great. Like it already is great. I think it's also part of my astrology. There's this tendency towards like feeling inadequate. It's so interesting, like watching that. It's like a good thing in the sense that if you use it, you can achieve a lot, because you know you constantly feeling like you're not good enough, so you just keep going. But then you've got to, you know, at one point you got to be like, actually this is fucked. Like I'm not letting this like whip me and slave drive me, like, you know, like whip me and like, you know, beat me up to kind of get me to keep moving. Like that's just not a good way to live. It's not an integral, self-respecting way to live. And so, you know, I've integrated it, and now it's like I get to use it. Feels more like I don't even use it. It feels like I just notice it. And yeah, I feel like this is changing everything for me, because now I'm just like, oh, it's just good enough. Like it already is good enough. I'm just going to put it out and see what happens. I'm just going to trust that the work that I've already done, I'm already doing, is good enough, and it doesn't have to be like fantastic, you know, because I think my standards of fantastic are very different to, you know, I've already had a girlfriend read the book in its last draft, and the exact response that I wanted, like felt all the things that I wanted her to feel, like experienced it, saw and had like just the exact experience that I wanted a reader like her to have. She was like, yep. And that's exactly what I felt. I was like, cool, my work here is complete, message received, mission complete. But yeah, it feels wild, like to actually be able to put this book to bed and say that it's done. And Jesus, it feels terrifying. No, it's not. Like it does. Honestly, it does. But I'm focusing on something else. Like I'll focus on how exciting it is and how wonderful it is, and how well that this was my initiation into the creative process, and it's gonna be so much easier from here on out. And I think I could, you know, this book is going to open so many doors for me, and it's going to help so many people. And it already has, like, just the process of writing it was just like so, yeah, life altering and healing, deeply, deeply healing. I have had and felt things and felt as like closer, like the closeness that I felt to God is just, oh my God, indescribable. There is no, I mean, I guess that's what the book is me trying to describe it, but it's like, just go for God. Like, go for God, and don't, just keep going for God, no matter what you're going through right now. Like, no matter how hard it is, or how scared you are, or like what's going on, or just don't be scared. Do not be scared. God doesn't want to punish you. God isn't like sitting there being like waiting for you to just like come home so that he can or she can just like, you know, berate you from all of your mistakes. Like when you think about like the light of God shining into you, and let it into all of those deep dark crevices that you're so scared of offering up to the light, just open them up. Just, oh my God, it's so like the grace is unbelievable, and the sense of freedom and joy and peace is just otherworldly. We all deserve that. We all deserve that experience, and it just changes your entire life, because you're not, for me, instead of struggling to get life from, get love from outside of me, I was like, oh, I'm actually love. Like, I can live with love instead of chasing it. And that's just changed everything, because instead of being an addict or being addicted to stuff, I don't even think of myself as an addict, because I think labels are really powerful. But being addicted to stuff, you just, like it's all the good stuff, like, yeah, Jesus. Cool. Okay. It's just so much fun filming these. I really enjoy it. I really do. Like I said, teaching is such a big part of what I'm here to do, and I can feel this beautiful energy like rising up from my sacral and my solar plexus and out my throat now. I've been working on connecting my heart to my voice lately. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's game changing. Well, I have this practice now. I just invented it yesterday, where I just gave my heart the microphone, and I was like, here you go. And I just like put it there, and I was like, you speak. And it's just like the difference between what I'm saying and sharing. And it's not, some videos that I've done are very heady and just like, intellectual, and that's great. But these ones, I feel like it's just pure like heart speaking, and it's like, oh, what's it gonna say? But that's the whole point, is like when you're speaking from your heart, like things land and people respond, and you just, you have this ability to touch and reach people that you're not even trying to. It's just like, it's honest, it's pure, it's joyful, it's like who you really are is coming forward from you into the world. And this is something that I've struggled with a lot, especially like bringing myself into form, like actually getting it out of me and into the world. And this is why improv is helping, because it's like, it doesn't matter how, just get out of your head, just go for it, just say the thing, just do anything, and you'll find your way there. Like, you will find your way. Also just accessing this part of me that always knows exactly where I'm going. Like, it's incredible. I was thinking the other day, like, as a guide, yeah, your inner guidance is like your North Star. Like, there's a thing that you keep coming back to, which is like your central point. So for me, it's love, or God and love, same thing. But then from there, it's like that helps you find your North Star, which is in the sky, which is like the direction that you're headed. And so it's like, I always thought I am my North Star, but I'm also like, like love and God is my North Star. And then from there, when I'm connected to that, it's so much easier to look into the heavens and be like, okay, I know where I'm going. Like, I can orient myself around this, and then that gives me a clear direction as to where to, practically how to like live in the world next. Because I don't think, we're not just here to stay in this realm of like, okay, I'm one with God, like the end. I know for me, I'm very much here to be practically involved in the ascension of humanity and like the evolution of consciousness. But like, just, practically, like, I choose this, like I want to, be involved in what's going on and what's going down on the planet and people's lives. It brings me a lot of joy and satisfaction. I had such a wild day yesterday. I'll talk about that in another video, but it was fantastic. I prayed for like meaningful experiences, and I was just blown away. Really, really, really cool. I met this woman and she almost died in a jet boating accident. 2 jet boats like collided head on. It was a massive collision. My heart, like, it was very, as tragic as it was very heartwarming, because her like retelling of it and the way that she shared it was profound. Yeah. All right. I think is there anything else I want to share? No, I'm good. 29 minutes. I'm gonna work on getting these down to like a little bit shorter, so you guys can watch them in bite-sized pieces. It's just nice to sometimes put on a video and have like 15 minutes of like boom, and then that's all it takes to just be like, whoa. Blows your mind, literally, metaphorically. Right, I'll see you in my next video. I love you.